Alec, Peirce, Scuba Tech Tips. Now you listen to me. This knife is very similar, although not quite as big and as yellow, not black, to the knife that I wore when I was 14, 15 years old. Just started diving back in the mid-60s. Maybe Kevin has an old picture of me. We'll come to that knife in just a minute, but I wanted to talk about some other sharp things. They don't call them knives anymore. We called them knives because it was cool. I was 14. I got to carry a big knife around because I was a scuba diver. If I wasn't a scuba diver, then people would say, "What do you got that knife for?" I'm a scuba diver. Oh, okay. Things change, huh? Now they're called tools. Tools. You know, I got no problem with that. Because now they do more than just cut up things. We used to use them basically for cutting stuff. Ropes and all kinds. We cut things. But now, a dive tool is a good description because they do a lot more. I just want to share a couple of new things that you may not be aware of in the world of dive tools. You go into any dive store. This is a good example. This is Adventure Sport here in Newmarket, and we pulled out 7 different dive tools, and there's more left in the case over there. So go in and see what they have that's new. And now one of the things you're going to notice right away is that the vast majority of dive tools, knives, whatever you want to call them, are small. Big difference. When I started diving, if you didn't have a 12-inch dive net, you weren't really a diver. Pretty silly, actually, because as a big knife, there wasn't much use for it. But this tool is fantastic. It has all kinds of options on it, custom-made, soft finger grips, and it has a line cutter. That's not a bottle opener, it's a line cutter. And it has this thing down here, which is, I got to read the book. It's made of stainless steel. It has a serrate edge, which you need for cutting rope. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. If you're cutting fishing line or even cable, you use a very, very sharp edge. But it's very difficult to cut through polypropylene or nylon webbing or genuine old hemp rope using a sharp edge as you start to go into binds. But the saw edge, the sawtooth edge, through just like that. So they've changed a great deal. They usually have different ways of attaching them. They still use a sheath, a lot of them do, but some just have a line. You see, you put a line in there, make the line about 1 foot long, and then you attach that line to your BC and put it in the pocket. Or there's other ways to do it as well. So when you need to use it, you reach in, you pull it out. Why is a line on there? So if you drop it, it doesn't disappear. And you can use it and put it back in the pocket. Now here's a particularly nice one I like. I'm not going to take it out of the box. I think you can see it in there. It's a similar type of tool, you see? And it's got a good handle on it. It's got a sawtooth edge. It's got a sharp edge. It's got a sheath, a locking sheath. You can snap it into the sheath. Now, it used to be, as you'll see in this picture, if Kevin can find it and puts it on there, you'll see that at one time we always wore the knife on our leg, yeah, like Mike Nelson. Yes, and who was my hero, by the way, at the time, but that's not the story. And always wore that big knife on her leg. Sometimes on the inside, on your leg, ready for those sharks. A lot of sharks in the Fenton Falls up in the middle of Ontario. Yeah. Anyway, but it's not now. You have a sheath, and you don't usually put it on your leg. First of all, it's too small. So there's other ways of fastening it, and this particular one has some neat accessories. First of all, I can't take it out, can I? I can't take it out. But anyway, but it has this tube. It's a plastic tube that attaches to the back of the sheath. And this plastic tube can go over one of the hoses on your regulator system. Yeah, probably it will go over the air integrated computer, or if you have on your SPG hose, it would snap over that, and then your knife goes right onto it. So now when you look at your pressure gauge, your knife is right there. If you need the knife, pull it out. That's a pretty handy thing. Now, if that doesn't work for you, they also have these circular plastic rings, and you can take your BC pocket, not the BC body, because that's got to stay airtight, and they have holes in it, but the BC pocket, you have pockets on your BC, or maybe on your dumpable weights, and you put a hole through that, small hole, with something hot, so it burns the nylon and seals it up, so you don't get free. And a screw goes through that and into the sheath. So now your sheath is mounted right here in your BC pocket. You need a knife? Oh, I need a knife. Put it back in. So that's pretty neat, the little innovative ideas they have to accompany these smaller dive tools. Here's another one. Here's another one. Same type of tool. This is made by Scuba Pro, top quality stainless steel. And this has a pretty traditional older style of sheath. You slide it, snap. It can't come out. Okay, press on the button, out it comes. Once again, personally, I'd be inclined to put a line on there. Nice piece of line, maybe a bright color, so you don't lose the knife. But anyway, it'll snap into the sheath. And then if you want to, you can strap it with the straps. You can strap this sheath. I've seen some fellas, and they put it on their forearm, like this. I've never tried that possibility, or on your leg or somewhere else. But it also comes with those BC mounts. So you take the straps off, and these two little plastic things with the stainless steel nuts and bolts. Again, you can put a couple little holes in your BC pocket or the flap, and the knife sits right there. Pretty handy, huh? Oh, I need a knife. Oh, there it is. Hard to beat. So it's a pretty good accessory that way. And here's another one. This one's from Akona, real well-known company. Akona, again, top quality products. And they have the same type of idea. A locking sheath, great little knife. This is a dagger point. Comes to a point. A lot of them don't. A lot of them have a blunt tip on them. Now, so that what was on this? A blunt tip, you can use it like a screwdriver for prying things. Dagger point and serrated edge. And again, it has that hose mount. Pretty slick. Okay. There are still some big knives. Here's a one from Aqualung, fairly large knife, again, extremely well made. Comes with a sheath, a hole, and then of course a great big one that I showed you in the very beginning, like that. If you feel you have the need for a large knife, then they still have them. A couple more quick things I want to show you. This is really neat. I have not seen this before. This is kind of like an emergency type of knife, and particularly made for cutting lines. Because one of the biggest dangers we face underwater is fishing lines and other types of ropes and things. This one has a nylon sheath and has a slot in here, so you can mount it on one of your BC straps. Perhaps on your weight belt, that may not be the best. One of your shoulder straps on the BC, you can mount it almost anywhere. So what is it? Well, pull, pull. Just like that. And now you have a very, very sharp line cutter. I'm going to try to hold that still. So maybe, can you zoom in there? Oh, can I zoom in there? Can I zoom in for you? You see what's in there, Kevin? This is a super, super line cutter. Yeah. If you come up, see there's razor blades in there, Kevin. Do not put your fingers in there. These are actual razor blades, just like a box cutter. And all you have to do with this, if there's a line, just reach out and across the line. Netting, sometimes underwater, you bump into some fishing nets, just like that. And comes with spare blades. If the blades get worn, which they will after a while, you can change the blades. Yeah, this is a great little product from a company called Easy Cut. Well, that's a pretty good name. Trilobite. Yeah, I'm going to get Kevin to make a close-up of that because it's a neat system. And lastly, don't forget, fairly common now these days are shears. Yeah, quite a few divers carry shears, but these are heavy-duty shears. These are not your grandmother's quilting scissors. No, heavy-duty shears, very, very strong, very tough, and they have a blunt tips on them, so you can't hurt anybody. But when you go like that, it has serrated edge and a sharp edge. There's nothing that won't stand, that can stand that. Nylon webbing. You know how hard your nylon webbing is, and you wave right through like that. So there you go. I just thought I'd bring you up to date. I was pretty impressed myself when I looked into Jody's knife cabinet here at Adventure Sports, and I said, hey, let's talk about this. I bet you some of the guys haven't seen some of these new ideas, attaching it to your BCE, or this double-edged line cutter. Pretty good ideas. There you go, guys. Something to think about. It's pretty sharp. Alec Peirce. Scuba Tech Tips. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.